It's the HBS show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, Baba. Yeah.
Welcome to the palace of a great man, a man with impeccable character, a man worth emulating, a man with a large heart, a man who has brought glory to his community.
It's the HBS show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Wow, it is HBS show history behind success. My guest today, his story will entertain you. You will learn something today. Who is the man on today's episode? A man who has touched the life of so many people. A man who has brought good things to his community. A man who makes sure that the faces of the poor keep smiling with good things. A man who has no in his dictionary for those that needs assistance. Who is this man? Join me as I make welcome to the program His Royal Majesty OGURIMERIME UKORI 1, the Ovie of Agbon Kingdom, to the program.
It's the HBS show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
OGURIMERIME, 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 Wosuto, Wosuriri. Your Majesty, you're looking very handsome and I like this your outfit.
Oh, well.
So what's the secret of this handsomeness and this fresh skin?
Oh, well, it's you that is saying that. I never knew it. I'm fresh. But that notwithstanding, just take every day as one of those days. Just have happiness as the fulcrum of my living. I like being happy every day. I don't take anything serious.
Okay.
Even life goes on.
Yes. So tell us, how was your growing up like?
Well, I grew up just like every other person from cradle. I was brought up at home in UKORI with my mother. And as I was growing up, because my mother was very rich at the village level,
Okay.
so he brought me up with other of my siblings, not going to the bush, but we eat, we go to school, without difficulties. Even though at the village level, we had bicycle, we ride, sleep in good house. So from that, I never had any difficulty. I cannot say I had difficulty. And I grew up well. I never had any challenges up to today.
Okay. So you were talking about, you said you were brought up by your mother. So what about your dad?
Yeah, my dad lived in Benin area, and my mom was at home here. So usually mothers take care of children more than the fathers. The fathers go about looking for money
to take care of the family.
Exactly.
So tell us your educational background.
Well, I did my primary school in education and secondary in UKORI, Baptist primary school, and St. Kevin's secondary school, a Catholic school in UKORI. Before I got the secondary, I got a school set. With that, I got my first teaching appointment.
Wow.
As an auxiliary teacher.
At where?
At Okpara Waterside. And after that, I was posted to various schools within even at Ovie and to JD, from where I went to Abraka in 1972 to take up the NCE, the College of Education Abraka, and finished there in 1975. Posted to, as at that time, as you are finishing your school, your posting is ready.
Wow.
To be secondary school, because it was a crash program to produce qualified teachers for secondary schools. So I studied English and French, and I was posted to St. Malach's College, Sapele, where I taught till 1978, when I got another appointment to teach technical English at the Petroleum Training Institute, EFRO. From where I had study leave to attend the University of Hull in England, in UK, where I studied higher education management. In between that, when I was at Abraka, I was in Togo, in University of Benin, where I took up a course, a 3-month course in French. So that's how I grew up and worked in PTI. I retired voluntarily in 1990.
Wow. So tell us, how was your campo life?
The
campo life, campus life.
Oh, campus! It was
have fun?
Very much, because I was very ubiquitous. I was everywhere, and then I used to take part in literary activities I was the secretary of the Abraka Theatre Group.
Okay.
After which I became the chairman of the theatre group, and I was always the protagonist in the various stage drama that we put up at various times during the 3 years course, and also I was always given the leadership role. I also, during this period, led the students to what we call Aksan Week then, a festival of all colleges of education and advanced teacher training colleges all over the country.
Wow.
So we traveled to Sokoto, we traveled to Uyo and everywhere to take part in this Aksan Week. And I always lead cultural groups there to dance, cultural dances, and act, play, stage drama.
Okay, that means you're still into theater arts kind of when you were in school.
Oh, very well, although I did not study theater arts. I wanted to do that, but one of our uncles then asked me how many years will I continue to jump on stage, but it's not necessary.
So it discouraged you.
Exactly.
Okay, so you said your first job was teaching.
Yes.
So after your graduation, what was the other job you did?
No, after the teaching, I went to PTI. I was employed in PTI to teach technical English.
Okay.
But between this period, I was posted from normal teaching, lecturing, to administration, to work in administration in the registrar's office.
Okay.
Then later on, I was made the head of public affairs of the institute before I retired voluntarily in 1990. As a matter of fact, I retired into my private business.
Yeah.
One, I was not aspiring to be the principal of PTI, and I was not aspiring to be the registrar, because there were people ahead.
Yes.
But my personality and social status outside the four walls of the institute seemed to be larger than where I was. Okay. So I found that I would be able to make a living much better if I'm on my own outside than constraining myself within that premise.
Okay. So what kind of business were you doing at that time?
I was doing public relations, I was doing insurance agency, and also doing hiring of event arrangement.
Okay, that's a event planner.
Event planning and hiring chairs and canopies out of ceremonies. And I always, in fact, as a matter of fact, I took pleasure in us going to this where I'm engaged.
Okay.
To make sure that the things are well arranged.
Wow.
And even on the chairs, because most chairs they break during the ceremony, so by people sitting and bending over. So I always tell them, please sit well, so that my chairs will not grow big.
They're protecting your chairs.
Yes. And I also hire generators for ceremonies.
Wow.
So it's a combined business. But I had pleasure in doing it.
Okay.
I had pleasure.
Okay. So, at what point were you called to become the ruler of this great kingdom?
Well, even before I was called to, I was doing this business, and I was also in politics.
Okay.
I started political life in 1978. Following people, even though I was in government, and I was going to political meetings and doing it at this subterranean level, And when I left while I was doing my personal business, I was very much in politics.
Okay.
But I did not take it as a full-time job, as many people are today. I was doing the business, I was in politics, and I aligned myself with Chief James OGURIMERIME.
Okay.
And ever since, I've never left him, and we have never left each other. We are very close.
Wow.
And as you can see in the palace, you see his photographs everywhere.
Yes.
He did not fail me, and I did not fail him. And as at that time, he made me the chairman of Niger Construction Company, Niger Cats.
Okay.
And I carried out that job conscientiously, making sure that we churned out good roads for the betterment, for the pleasure of debtors. So it was during this period that my community felt I should become the king. After the departure of the form of my predecessor. But it was not in my character to wanting to sit in one place because I am very much
You're very busy.
And everywhere. I'm now more like a mercury in a thermometer, moving up and down. I hate sitting in one place and I hate wasted days. So that's how it is.
So the first time they called you and told you that Your Majesty would like you to come and be our father in this kingdom, how was it like that? You're like, is it me? Is it people serious or something?
No, anyway, I was one of the kingmakers then.
Okay.
Because I was a chief in the kingdom 25 years before I became a king.
Wow.
I was in the palace. I became a chief 1987, April 19. So I have always worked in and around
the palace.
The palace with my predecessor. So when I was asked to be a king without qualms, without hassle, without fighting to be, without lobby, without feeling that I've come of age, I've got so much money, I can lobby myself to be a king. Nothing. There was nothing of such. There was no seeing this or seeing that or bribing one place or the other.
It just came to you.
It just came like that, and everybody was happy with my choice because they felt being a fusy man, I'd be able to use my fusiness to make things happen in the community. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was also President General of UKORI community for well over 7 years. Okay. During this period of working here and there, I was also involved in community affairs. You know, there were throughout the time of my schooling and to the time I went abroad and all, there was no festival in UKORI I never attended.
Wow.
From one year to another.
All right, so what was your kingdom like before you emerged as the king, and what have you done so far? What are the improvements?
Well, there's always before I became the king, I had been working for the community. Okay. I saw that we had good roads. Okay. Throughout because Agbon Kingdom is made up of 6 big towns with their villages. You have Okpara, Kokori, Eku, Oruakpo, Ovie, and Igu. These are very big towns.
Yes.
With various villages attached to it, most of these. So I was also seeing to the progress of these places. You know, if there were, if NEPA goes, if the tree, NEPA poles fall, I always spend my own money to make sure they are erected so that the people will get light. When I was President General, so I was working for the betterment of the people. So when I became king, there was nothing very special to be done. Okay. than to continue what I'm used to do. And the most significant thing I had done since I became the king is building this palace.
Okay.
There was nothing like this in the kingdom
Okay.
before I became the king. And I built this palace within 2 years, 24 months.
Okay, okay.
You know, and I was able to put up resources, both mine and about 4 to 5 of my subjects. They assisted me. And the state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi is a very personal friend, and we've been together in the politics before I became the king.
Okay.
So, and I've always worked with him. We have always been together for years. You know, so he also assisted me in making sure that this place was put together. You know, so that's one of the major achievements I did. And I also saw that roads were also constructed. So we've also constructed some number of roads. That's government influencing the construction of some of these roads within this period under review.
Okay.
So we also saw that schools are improved upon, and public power was also improved upon by making sure that whatever goes wrong, we put them right, and also putting up committees to hold meetings with BEDC to
make sure there's
constant
light.
light. Even though it is very difficult to have constant light.
But at least.
As much as they can provide.
Yes. Okay, what about health sector?
Well, the health sector, we are also doing very well, because I collaborate with the local government to make sure that things are done. That the hospital, we have hospital here that the doctors are always posted there, and the health department of the local government come out to do much work. And during the pandemic, I made sure that my chiefs and the subjects had their COVID-19 vaccination.
Okay.
I made sure that the health department brought the vaccines to the palace, and my subjects and chiefs were invited here on several occasions to be vaccinated, the first and the second.
Wow.
So even some of my subjects traveled from places like Sapele, Wari, Benin to come and get their vaccination, because it was very difficult to get it outside here and there at the hospital. So I was able to do that to the pleasure of my subjects.
Okay. In case you're just joining us, it is HBS show, History Behind Success, and my guest on the program is His Royal Majesty OGURIMERIME, UKORI the First, the Ovie of Agbon King. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
My name is Chief Emmanuel Aworo. My title is the Iroro of Agbon. I'm the Secretary of Agbon Traditional Council. An appointment His Majesty made in 2013. when he was installed as the Ovie, the second Ovie of Agbon. His Majesty, the Ovie of Agbon, His Majesty Mike Omeru, JP. I've known him for quite some time. Over the past 20 years, we've known each other. Good and plain at heart. His effort to develop our community started from when he was the President General of UKORI. UKORI is a sub-clan in Agbon Kingdom, and as a President General, he ensured that all facets of the community is carried along in the development of the community. I recall when one of our brothers, who is a member of UKORI elite in Warri, was kidnapped. Our Majesty single-handedly provided the funds for the gentleman to be released. Those are some of the attributes he has garnered. As a supervisory councillor in Ethiopia East local government from 1994 to 1996, he was very much at the forefront of bringing up the young children, providing educational materials for children, paying school fees and paying exam fees for those pupils who couldn't pay for final year exams. His Majesty has actually brought light to this kingdom. With his connections, a lot of development has come to the area. The road from Ikurari to Usiokolo was masterminded by him. The tarring of the road from Eku to UKORI was also one of the major achievements of his tenure when he was a leader in UKORI sub-clan. In Agbon, you can see that within 2-3 years of his being in the throne, we have been able to put up an edifice like this palace here, which is probably the biggest palace for a traditional ruler in the whole state. So you can see that he has been able to achieve a lot in bringing peace and development to Agbon Kingdom. Agbon Kingdom is well over 500 years old because most of us in Agbon can trace our history. We also know how we ruling ourselves, but from the time Chief Omeru took over as the Ovie of Agbon, we started seeing this cohesion where there is unity among the 6 sub-clans and even development coming to the kingdom. Not only do you see development in terms of infrastructure, but you also see development in terms of people. More people are being given appointment. There are lots of political appointments. In fact, as we speak, one of his daughters is a mayor in Ireland, far away Europe. So that's the type of development that His Majesty has brought to this kingdom. Yes, as we head into the 10th anniversary of his becoming the Ovie of Agbon, we pray for long life, we pray for longevity, and we pray for further development and progress in Agbon Kingdom. We do hope that as we celebrate his 10th anniversary early next year, we will see more development coming to the kingdom.
My name is Chief Agogo Ageralio. I'm from Ovie, one of the sub-clans in Agbon Kingdom. My title is Otori of Agbon Kingdom. Your Majesty, OGURIMERIME UKORI the First, the Ovie of Agbon, has been a very good person. I've known him for a very long time before I become chief. He has been a good person. He has helped me way back when I'm not a chief. And as a royal father in our sub-clan, in Agbon Kingdom, he has touched lives in Okpara and Agbon as large. He has helped so many persons, young men. I know he has helped them. And our prayer for him is for him to live long, because we believe if he lives long, he will do more in the kingdom. As a young man or young Your Highness in Agbon Kingdom. He has been doing a lot of things till now. So we are praying for him to live long so that he will do more. He has helped a lot of persons doing way back in Niger. Persons I know he employed in Niger Construction Company, and in the palace he has helped people. Ovie, UKORI, you can name it. Most of the sub-clan, he has touched lives in the sub-clan. So he's a very good person. If I said I should be counting things that the Majesty have done for people, I don't think we'll live here today. So our prayer for him is God to keep him for us so that he will do more in the sub-clan and Agbon at large.
show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
You're welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You're still on the program HBS show, History Behind Success. And before the break, His Royal Majesty OGURIMERIME UKORI the First, the Ovie of Agbon, was telling us the good things he has attracted into this kingdom since he became a king. And also, he has been doing whole lots, even becoming a king. Your Majesty, you know insecurity is a very challenging issue in Nigeria. So how are you taking care of insecurity in your community?
That one is a problem for everywhere in the country. But here in the Agbon Kingdom, I collaborate with the council, collaborate with the police, especially with the DPO, the National Police Officer. Then apart from that, I try to provide for the police sometimes. And when I notice that their office is always in darkness at night, I provided them a generating set to make sure that they have lights to get some security for themselves. Then with the vigilante groups were encouraged to come up. So all the towns and villages in Agbon Kingdom have vigilante groups.
Wow.
Where some of my subjects are picked to them to provide the vehicles. So they are able to move. And they collaborate with the police authority in the kingdom.
They don't work on their own.
They work hand in hand because they are not normal public security outfits. So they are put in place. Government is aware of their existence, but they do not exist on their own. If by chance they apprehend any criminal, they hand over the criminal to the police. So they collaborate hand in hand. If there's what they cannot do, they always beckon on the police, on the DPO, to send help to make sure that
the culprit is being arrested.
The culprits are arrested, or the peace is restored in various places. So there's a lot of we have some relative peace in the kingdom because of this the presence of these vigilante groups everywhere, and the police is also trying on their own at their patrol. So they know the head of the security in each town. You have the head who they work with. Those are the people they talk to. So if there's insecurity somewhere, if there's a problem somewhere, they quickly call on the DPO, who will send his men to check. But the important thing is that they do not have the vigilante don't have the authority to deal with any corporate court. They always hand over such miscreants to the police. To take its normal judicial course.
Okay, so what other development are you looking at to bring into this community?
On education, we want to put in some educational institutions. I have the governor has graciously approved the siting of technical college here in Isiokolo. And but for the political movements and all, and sometimes by now we could have started on the project because they've been approached to provide, say, expanse of land for such an institution to be built.
Tell us how you met your wife. You have a very beautiful queen. Tell us, how did you meet your wife?
Well, there's no big deal about meeting a wife, just as everybody does. I met her in our school at the College of Education, Agbon, and I found out that we are from the same town, UKORI, and father, very prominent Urubu chief and the prominent leader of one of the prominent leaders of Urubu Progress Union, UPU, was very prominent in Warri, and so I became very much interested in her, and one thing led to another, and we came together in 1976, January. That's where, and that is how it has been.
What was the first thing you told her?
Well, I did not tell her I want to marry you at the beginning. Something led to one to that to the other, and as at that time, you don't really have to be in a hurry. Just like the cat does not hurry when you want to catch something. It stays quietly until the prey is ready and pounces on it. So, and the parents, the father added impetus to my wish. And at that time, not really, parents have a lot of role to play in who their children marry. They are married to. When the father knew that I'm from the same place with him, he was excited. So that he was not, that was the first time any of his children was going back home. That was how we met and we were married. We brought up very good children who are well placed everywhere in the world. It may interest you to know that one of my children won an election in Ireland. Became the Lord Mayor of Longford Municipal District in Ireland. So it's a very big achievement. And the one next to that is an oncologist. It's a consultant in cancer treatment in Houston, in Texas. And she consults even for Lagos State government. She's always brought into the country as an expatriate. And I have a couple of others, medical doctors and PhD holders here and there. And some are still within the country. Okay. So, doing very well in their different fields of endeavor.
Okay. Your Majesty, youths of today, so many of them, after schooling, no job for them to do, and this had led to some of them doing sharp practices. Most of them really don't want to have this patience to start something, to grow it, to become big and all that. So I need your word of advice to our youth out there.
Well, Rome was not built in a day, so the youths have to be patient. The grace to get rich quickly is what is bringing up this youth empathy to work. Like I told you, I'm a product of personal effort. After my mother trained us from secondary school, from there I picked up myself and trained those behind me. It's from a dent of hard work. And again, I was never in a hurry to be somebody or to make money. You know, it's gradual movement. So my advice is that they should be patient and try to be entrepreneurial. Try to do something. Try your hand. They should try their hands in different businesses. Good thing, the governor of the state of Delta State, Dr. Senator Ifeanyi has come out with a very good program where that STEP program, where it stood a lot of entrepreneurial programs are put upon, and you can imagine more than thousands of our youths, both men, girls, and boys, they have embraced it very well. They will be trained in different aspects of the economy, and they are doing well. If you go into their program on Saturdays, Data Today, you will find out that a lot have embraced that, and that's empowerment of youths. So I advise them that those who have not keyed into that program to take advantage of the governor's benevolence in bringing that entrepreneurial program for youths so that they can be self-reliant. It's not everybody that should go to white-collar job. That's how it should be.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Majesty, for your time on this program.
Thank you very much.
We've come to the end of the program, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, HBS Show with Blessing. And my guest has been His Royal Majesty, UKORI the Ovie of Agbon. I am Blessing of me. We'll do it again next week. OGURIMERIME, 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 Wosuto, Wosuriri.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.